What up? I don't know. That was the background. What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, April 22nd. Thank you for joining us for the morning bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. I'm pumped up, man. I am pumped up. We have a beautiful card, full Major League Baseball card with afternoon action. We have NBA. It's my third triple up of the year, and I'm just waiting for the injuries to be announced for the Phoenix Suns so that I then move on the Suns. Just like the Sixers, we're back in a team that's coming off a 30-plus point loss, 35 to be exact. But the Pistons triple up is the bet of the day. And then the National Hockey League did not go well for me last night. Need the redemption. We swept NBA. Man, did we sweep NBA. But gave it back in the National Hockey League. So I'm out for blood here. Great to see everybody in the chat. Great to see the producer of the show, my co-host for the morning bag, the backbone of Pub Sports Radio, Mr. Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you, my friend?
Good. We have a lot of exciting stuff to do. We're going to go shorter than we did yesterday morning. We're going to try to do that as well, but we're going to have a good time while doing it.
Well, we also have something very, very exciting. Our guy, Mark Stasowski, don't throw fade on X, and we'll put his X handle here after you see his best bet video. Mark Stasowski has given us a best bet video for the NFL draft. Man, the NFL draft is tomorrow. I mean, it's unbelievable how fast it's coming up. So we have a best bet video from our guy, Mark Stasowski. I'm pumped up about that. I'm pumped up about all of this. Great to see all of you guys. Nuke worker ready to get down to business. We got Justin McKelvey, Stacks Play Day 1 and 2. And you know what? I'm not a player prop better. We're trying very hard not to be. Obviously, I was in the throes of player prop madness with Operation Garcia. But generally speaking, I've tried to cut out my player props. But I thought about Jalen Duren today. I did. He has to step up for the big bad Pistons. So I really like that spot from Justin McKelvey. Put your best bets in the chat so I can copy and paste them, and then we can discuss them here at the end of the show. Let's get Justin's copied and pasted here. Gamma Ray play of the day is the Penguins plus 100. New great call on the Boston Bruins last night. You were so confident in those Boston Bruins, and they took good care of you. You deserved every cent of the glory that you cashed there. Gamma Ray play of the day is Penguins, so we're together at least with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Also, regardless of Game 3, I'm betting them Game 4. Regardless of the outcome in Game 3, I'm betting them. Now, there could be injuries, and I shouldn't say regardless, but I expect to. We got Dizzy Donut ready to get to work. Los Chudy, Auburn 400. Johnny Gunn says, Jimmy the Knife Catcher. Well, that didn't go so well. We did catch the Mets first 5 minus a half, but we lost the Mets -1. Look, I want to bet the Mets again today, and I'm trying so hard not to. I haven't pressed the button. Nasty Nate. Blazers money line. Ooh, nasty Nate. Nice job. Bomb Polo in the house. There's Mark Stasowski ready to go. I can't wait for you guys to see the best bet video. So as we've moved to our new plan here with the nightly bag and the morning bag, we want to do more of these videos. So it's very cool that Mark Stasowski is going to hit lead off for us here with these videos from the cappers in the chat. Love it. I just love it. Justin McKelvey says NFL draft tomorrow in my city. And Justin, you're going to love Mark's play of the day. You're going to love it. That's all I'll say now. Hino Ball, your mailman bets sick from the ball, ready to get to work. Leroy Flood. M the Great, Steve Fehrenbach. God, I want to back the Mammoth in Game 3 at home. I don't know if the Knights can hold off the unbelievable vibe that's going to be in that arena. I don't know if they can, but I haven't moved on it yet. It's going to, and Steve's saying Friday night hockey in Utah is going to be insane. Mark Stasowski, it's hard to believe in the Pens after Game 1 and 2, but it feels like this is the spot where things get weird and the score goes over. The total I'm going to stay away from. I did end up hammering the Dallas total. We'll get into all of that, but we have to work quickly, as our guy Jose Bouquet started us off with. We have to work quickly. So, Jose, my man, let's get to work. We start at 12:10 p.m. Eastern. We're going 3 minutes a game. Let's set a table, my man.
Yep, we've got Cardinals Marlins next or first on our slate, I should say here. Early
Ooh,
game.
just 1 second though. We have the smell good play of the day from Von Polo. The smell good play of the day. I like that. That just works for me. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste that and have that set up. But keep rolling, my man.
Yes, so refreshing all the sites here, we have 53% of the bets and 79% of the money on Kyle Leahy and the Cardinals here. Everyone that knows me and you by now knows that we support Dan Jansen Junk here. Should have bet it early because minus 126 is now minus 145 for the Miami Marlins here. That's first five, excuse me. Let me go to full
Yeah, I was
game here.
astonished because this came back.
Let me full game here. I might
No,
move on
you're
first
right.
five now,
Wow.
but minus 121 full game is now minus 143. Just moved up a ton here.
Because
From like the
Walker's not in
last
the lineup.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I don't think any player deserves a 20-cent move, but yeah, I guess that's the case. Minus 121 is up to minus 143. I'm a Jansen Junk guy. I believe in junk. And like I said, 53% of the bets, 79% of the money on the Cardinals here.
Wow. So the big note from last night's show was TJ saying the way both teams are playing, I can't justify laying this price on Miami. They won't win at the rate required to be profitable, minus 130. And then he got the Marlins minus 115 at an exchange. And that 15 cents is a big difference. So then this morning, this line has moved to the over, but this line was also moving towards the Cardinals. And at that point, I was like, okay, we'll see how far it goes towards the Cardinals. So this line got to minus 123, and I should have pounced. The 15-cent move from minus 128 to minus 143 happened 30 minutes ago. It's just too expensive. It is just too expensive. I mean, let's take a look at the confirmed lineups here for Leahy and Junk. We have Weatherholt, Herrera, Gorman, Urias, Ramon Urias, but I didn't clean up. Furman, Church, Segesi, Pajes, Scott, and then Marseille, Edwards, Lopez, Hicks, Ramirez, Hernandez, Casey, Jimenez, and Sanoa. And it's too late. It's too late. I'm not going to. I mean, I can't. If the other number was too expensive, I don't see how I could take this one. But 51% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the Cardinals. Look, it is what it is. I've got to stay off of this spot. Sick from Fall says this has to be a Marlin spot, though. But I mean, you don't want to be back. I mean, the Cardinals are playing more than the sum of their parts, and you just don't want to be back in the Marlins at this price. Maybe it's a sign of confidence in Junk. It sucks. I guess when it went down to minus 123, I should have bet it. But what's done is done, and I'm ready to move forward. So let's roll on.
Let's roll on. I haven't moved in this game either, but I'm considering Marlins first five or full game. I just might go first five. We'll see.
So you don't think that? So just one quickly. I know we got to move quickly, but you don't think this is too expensive now?
No. As one Jimmy the Bag would say, I like my things expensive. At least makes me feel better about betting them, especially when there's.
Isn't that the opening line that you want to be expensive? I mean, not the movement.
I would feel worse about this if there was more money and bets on the Marlins. It's I know 50-50 ticket split basically, with 78% of the money still on the Cardinals, and the line moved the other way, which makes me feel better about it.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's all valid. Shout out to my guy Robert Cherry in the house, Nicholas Handy. We got 9 legacy flank stake play today. Is the Cardinals money line? Let's roll on.
Reds Rays. Next on our slate here, we have 56% of the bets and 70% of the money on Brandon Williamson and the Reds here. 65% of the bets on the over, 52% of the money on the under. This line has moved up about 10 cents towards Nick Martinez and company here. Minus 125 is now minus 135. At Bet Online and Heritage here showing minus 129 is now minus 137 there.
Yeah, I just Von Polo on the under here. I looked at this spot and I felt very similar to what we were dealing with in game 1. I kind of just deem it too expensive. And you have to ask yourself at that point: are you going to take a minus 135 or minus 140, or bet the -1? And I found it quite difficult. This line's moved from 8 to 8.5. I mean, on one side of things, you can say, look, the Reds know Nick Martinez. Another side, you can say Nick wants to show them that he should have been a starter all along. I guess at that point, then you say, well, I came so close to raise first 5 minus a half, so close. But again, I was like, do I really? Because I like Brandon Williamson, and I know that he hasn't had, and I know it's sort of a hunch situation. We didn't see him in 2025 because of Tommy John, but that last start at the Twins was very good. Friday, April 17th, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 4 walks. When it all is said and done, I just couldn't get there. Now we have the bigger bets coming in on Cincinnati. And look, I want to have afternoon action as much as the next gambler, but do you feel like this is just too expensive, Jose?
I do, yes. But again, it kind of the same vein as the other game we just talked about. At the very least, there are more bets on the Reds here. 57 and 74 now, and the line moving towards the Rays here. Make me feel better about betting the Rays. I don't think Nick Martinez and the Rays are, I think we just have more of an advantage in the other game than this game, I should say. Like Brandon Williamson and Nick Martinez are closer in pitching than I think Jensen Junk and Kyle Leahy are.
Well, I mean, but even Kyle Leahy, he just hasn't figured out that transition into starting. He's earned this opportunity to be a starting pitcher. Let's just take a look at the price difference here. So I'm telling you, I came so close to both of these bets. The Rays are minus 135 full game, and first 5 they're minus 135. Justin has the over 8.5 in his pocket. I'm going to have to stick with my plan here, and that's that this is just too expensive. Look, if I had a free bet, I'd be on both of these favorites here, but with my own money, I'm not going to be able to. So let's move on, unfortunately, and just not jump at the need for morning action, because I've got action at 1:10 p.m. Jose, let's roll.
Houston Astros versus the Cleveland Guardians here. Pete Lambert or Lambert, depending where you're from, versus Tanner Bybee.
Depending on where he's from, Jose, not you. Him. He's American. He's not French Canadian.
I disagree. If you're French Canadian, I think you can call him Lambert if you'd like. 78% of the bets and 77% of the money on Tanner Bybee. French Canadians don't know any better, Oh,
they do.
79% of the bets, 87% of the money on the under. But a lot of money on the Guardians here, and yet we haven't really moved much here. I'll do a quick refresh just to make sure here. We've got 10 cents. Yeah, 10 cents in the direction of the Cleveland Guardians. Was down to minus 136, minus 135 after it opened up at minus 140. And BetOnline finally moved it up to minus 150, as did Heritage, minus 137 up to minus 154.
Thank you. Good God. I was like, 14-cent move 5 minutes ago, BetOnline. Finally. Thank you. Look, Toucan says don't drink with French Canadian. They'll drink you under the table. They won't drink you under the table.
I've seen it. Trust me. Slatsy? Whew. Slatsy screams French Canadian.
Yeah, but he's an English-speaking Montrealer. But I feel you. Walla Walla Doe's in the house. And shout out to Slatsy, our friend Slatsy. Look, I needed that line move just to have a little bit of confidence. I'm higher than Tanner Bybee than everybody else, so be it. I do not believe that Peter Lambert, despite his belief in himself, right? He's coming over from the Yakult Swallows. Look, we've talked about a bunch of players that have come over from Japan with 1.8 ERAs, with 0.923 whips. And here, he wasn't that good. And he's never been that good. 44th overall pick in the 2015 draft. Look, he dealt with injuries. He dealt with a thin air Colorado. Sure, give him all the excuses in the world. Give him them all. I don't care. I want Bybee at home. We backed him at home versus the Orioles after he allowed 8 earned runs at the Braves, and he delivered for us. Justin McKelvey on the over 8. There's our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh in the house, man. Leading by example in the association. And here, I'm on the Guardians. I got the first 5 minus 130. I could have got the full game at minus 136. I do not feel very comfortable with the implied probability on those spots. Now, for the first 5, I can completely understand that, you want the push and play. But for the full game, again, maybe if my unit size was bigger, I would have been comfortable with the minus 135, minus 136, but I wasn't. So I moved on the Guardians minus 1 at plus 109. We are attacking this Astros bullpen. Feel free to say, look, the Guardians bullpen's trash too, but it's not. It's not. 5.04 ERA, 1.34 whip to start the year. We know what the Guardians bullpen's capable of. We know they're going to move in the right direction. And the Astros bullpen looks horrific. Absolutely horrific. Great seeing everybody unite here. We got Ski Profit, Miss Smokes a Lot, Chill, Will, Astute, Chaos. Great to see all of you guys. And Word of Advice says, don't get too caught up in what you saw the previous game. Yeah, man. Board sweepage for me last night, Ski. Was a thing of beauty. Sixers, Blazers, Lakers. Felt good, man. Felt good. Ski, Dutch, Wham Bam, Bobano, they've been leading by example all year long. So I doubled up here. Let's roll on.
All right, let's roll on to our next game. Royals-Orioles. It's been a fun series. Been tight games against these two teams, so it's been fun to watch at the very least. Bassett, Waka next up here. 59% of the bets and 60% of the money on Kansas City here. And we have line movement. It's not much. 3 cents of movement at Bet Online. Heritage opened this up at minus 131. It's up to 34. So not too much movement with Bassett and Waka on the bump here. 80% of the bets, 62% of the money on the under. I agree with what you say, Jimmy, when it comes to Chris Bassett. I'm just waiting until later in the season to fade him until those innings start to really get to his arm here. But I agree. I think Bassett will be a fade pitcher at some point in the season.
And I hate saying that. Shout out to BT in the house. Chill, Will, ready to get to work. Colin Gregory, also on the Pistons. Dutch Boy Fresh, tripling up. It's my 3rd triple up of the year. So we're 6-0 on those first 2. I can't wait to talk about it. But
by the way, quickly, our guy Jeff Slaughter apparently got twisted yesterday with old Swiggy and ended up doing karaoke. So tune into Pub Culture TV for those karaoke clips at some point here.
I gotta see this. Here, the Royals bullpen is an atrocity. 6.37 ERA, 1.68 whip. And Michael Waka is, I just think, bet on. And look, I lost in his last start at the Yankees, but it wasn't because of Waka. He did everything I could ask of him. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 3 walks. AM says, I think Bassett is set up for a good outing here. It's not beyond the range of possibilities by any stretch. Bassett is able to get ground balls. He is able to keep the ball in the stadium. It is blowing out to left Kauffman Stadium, plus 6% runs, plus 15% homers, plus 5% doubles and triples, and even for singles. The price on the Royals could be a discomfort for a lot of people. But for me, the price difference, now, of course, it's predicated on the weak bullpen as well, but it's right now at Penny, we're talking about a minus 126 on the full game, but on the first half, it's a minus 139. And I moved on the Royals first 5 minus a half at minus 103. You can now get it at minus 102. Shout out to Rob McMahon. Thank you, my man. And Wine Time Sports. And just my 2 cents, TC's play today is the Orioles at plus 110. Well, hopefully we can cash them both, TC. I hope. But I'm on the Royals first 5 minus half, minus 103. Miss Smokes a Lot looking at the under in this spot. I wouldn't mind just taking a second look at that. If Keisha's on it, I'm interested in it. So let's just take a quick look. That's sitting at 9.5. It's a huge high number. But I get it. I get why you want to try to get underneath it. For me, though, keeping it simple. Well, no. I mean, if it was simple, I'd probably take the Royals first 5 minus 139, leave the push and play. But I'm trying to keep the big down, and so I did that here. And obviously, you don't need to fight for a push when there's implied volatility with a total at 9.5. So I'm on Royals first 5 minus half minus 103. Jose, let's roll.
Excuse me. Let's roll two. Man, did I think Jeff Hoffman was about to blow that baseball game last night, Jimmy? Oh, as an Angels backer last night, I had him first 5 full game, and luckily I cashed one of the 2. Man, was I praying that Jeff Hoffman blew that game after I guess said that he was ass last night. So that would have been nice to see, but unfortunately he does not. And this is the game that I was the most interested in moving on last night. Wanted to wait, talk it out with you guys. Eric Lauer, who is a journeyman 6-man rotation guy, versus Jose Soriano, who we've talked about many a times, and we've talked about how he has been the best pitcher in baseball thus far. Now look, Jimmy, I like Jose Soriano. He is a rich man's Brian Bayo, but boy, do I want to fade him here today. The line movement, which we'll talk about in this game, is fascinating. And it's just one of those times where I call bullshit. I call bullshit on you, Jose Soriano. Prove to me that you can keep pitching like this against, I was going to say a good team, but the Toronto Blue Jays have been pretty middling so far, to say the least. But I still think they're not a bad ball club. I think it's just the AL East is what they're in, which doesn't help them. 78% of the bets are on the Los Angeles Angels here, or should I say the Anaheim Angels, and then that just went up to 79% of the bets. 59% of the money is on the Toronto Blue Jays, however. This line has moved from, on the total, minus 172 at BetOnline. It is now minus 157, minus 155 there. At Heritage, they opened up at minus 149 allegedly and have gone up to minus 157. And Bovada, we'll check that, minus 157 to minus 155 opener. And just one more for my sanity's sake. Bookmaker opened up minus 160. Still there. Moved up and down a little bit, but still there at minus 160. Yeah, I wanted to take the Blue Jays in some form or fashion here, whether it be a first 5 team total, regular team total. I'm not sure, but I will be honest. This line moved back to Eric Lauer has me calling bullshit on Soriano today.
That is all fair. At Penny, Jose, the Angels on the full game money line are minus 147. What is your guess of them on the first 5?
Minus 160.
Minus 181.
Man, so obviously the books are saying this bullpen is about to crack.
Well, both bullpens have been used. I think that the Blue Jays were fortunate that Louis Varland got away with a 1-pitch save. I believe that was our first 1-pitch save in, I don't know, since the 90s or something. But here, the way I see this, and Irish King says Angels score 3 in the first. Obviously, that makes me very nervous here. Look, we know the Angels are 6-0 in Soriano's starts. They've outscored the opposition 28-8. He's 0.28 ERA, 0.73 WHIP. He's been simply spectacular. And this line is telling us that betting the Angels is fool's gold. Well, that's all well and good. The way I see this line is that Lauer is going to pitch well. And you can look at what Lauer has done thus far and question it. 7.13 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. Thank you, Miss Smokes a lot. Big, bad Ben Wallace. And so saying all this, I'm going to move on the first 3 under. Now, if I lose this, Irish King is going to be in my head over and over and over again. I haven't moved on it yet. Colin Gregory said it was the same shit last time he pitched, though. Everyone faded the Angels. Let's just touch on that very quickly. This is a game we haven't moved on, so I think we can spend a little bit more time on it. But let's just touch on the line movement, because this has moved 20 cents away from Soriano. But I do have a faint memory of that. So let's go back to Friday, April 17th, line movements here very quickly. Friday, April 17th. And we'll go to the Angels game. It was a game they won 8-0. Yes, with Waldron. Yes. And you're right. It moved 14 cents towards Soriano. Now, in that game, though, we hadn't seen Waldron. I didn't believe this Waldron magic, even though he looked so good in AAA. I mean, there's a reason why I didn't pitch in the majors last year. In that game, I was on the Angels first five. Here, though, Casey Jansen. Thank you, Chris Mack Rack Attack. Casey Jansen in 2014. Wow, it wasn't that long ago. One pitch save. Thank you, Chris Mack Rack Attack. That's dope, man. So with it all said and done, I believe the market is. I think that it's reasonable to believe that Jose Soriano will keep pitching well. Nuclear says Soriano's allowed 3 hits in one start, just 2 in the other 4. He's given up 11 hits while posting 39 strikeouts and 32 in the third. I'm going to take the first 3 under 2.5. AM says, when I looked at the splits, Lauer was marginally better than Soriano, beginning the ass end of a line and 2 volatile bullpens play the slots. Well, not if we trust Lauer and Soriano. Then
a lot of good gamblers I know play the slots.
0, I know.
Well, that's not true. You know one, TJ.
Oh, man. He'll hate that. You know.
What? It's on video. What do you want me to do?
Drunk. He went in the corner and played it live. I mean, he's going to regret that for the rest of his life.
I saw it with my 2 eyes. TJ playing the slots. Does it matter how much money it was? It was worth 2 units for me. He played it with 2 units with my units.
Papa Ricky says, you know how Soriano pitches in day games. So far, look, he's just a different pitcher this year, Ricky. So far in day games, he's throwing 13 innings, and he's not allowed to run. And the opponent's hitting 0.93 against him. I don't know if we need to worry about, any of his stats. He was fine last year, 3.56 ERA. Opponents hit 229 against him in day games in 2025. In 2024, he struggled in day games. He was much better at night. For me here, I'm on the first 3 under 2.5. I'm going to trust the books telling me Lauer's going to have a nice start. I'm going to trust that Soriano can get me there. Simple, clean, keep it clean. Keep it simple, stupid. Let's roll on.
Next game, A's Mariners here. We have, I keep refreshing my sites here, Savali versus Logan Gilbert. I would say this is the matchup of the pitchers I feel the most oppositely about. Logan Gilbert, great pitcher. Expect him one day to win a Cy Young Award, honestly. That's how good I believe he can be. Minus 185 is what this got up to after opening up at minus 155 here. It's now at minus 177 with Savali on their other side, who I think is hanging on to the major leagues by a thread. Now, that's hell of a motivation to go out there and pitch well. I'll tell you that for Mr. Aaron Savali here. Market in this game. We have, as I'm looking for you, Seattle. There we go. 69% of the bets, 84% of the money on Seattle here. Line goes up in that direction, which makes sense to me, but not a game I'm interested in and not a game I'll be moving on. What do you think?
We are not there yet. This isn't going to pass minus 200 or anything like this, but and Savali can bounce back. There's a reason why Savali's passed around the league and anyone can pick him up for a cup of coffee. Supposedly it's character issues as well as the inability to go deep into games. But here, I'm praying that this is the cash cow situation. I have moved on the Mariners with confidence. I'm on the Mariners first 5 minus a half. I'm on the Mariners full game minus 1. Now, Savali is the issue, and I think he's the only issue here because I truly, and Justin McKelvey on the run line with the Mariners. Miss Smokes a lot on the run line with the Mariners. Robert Franklin says Seattle parlay piece. AM was close to the Mariners. Leroy Flood on the under. And shout out to Razor Sharp Picks, man. So we both swept the board 3-0 last night. Just love to see it. But Razor's 10-0 in his last 10 NBA bets, which is great. So he's on the unders, a 218.5, 215.5. All 3 games went under last night. Would have been a good night for Operation Garcia, but I don't really know what with the Spurs game, honestly, because when Wemby goes down early, it does mess up Operation Garcia quite a bit. We have the Goracle in the house. Dallas Stars, Reds money line, and Angels Mariners money line parlay. Plus money Gorky in the house. Let's get this all copied and pasted. We're going to have the pools updated. I sent a message to Swig, so I'm hoping that...
We know what Swig was doing last night, swinging sweet nothings to Jeff Slaughter, so that's a busy guy.
He's a busy man. A busy man. With it all said and done, I'm on the Mariners first 5 minus half, minus 120. I'm on the Mariners full game minus 1 at minus 123. And very comfortable with the situation. And look at that. Look at that. Matty Ice in the house. Perfect timing. The man has timing. Chris Bassett's Little League coach has timing. And Taint is in. Stephen Harrison says it's Seattle spot, but I don't trust this team. I get that. But this is a squad ride. Squad ride. All right, I doubled up on the Seattle Mariners. Jose, let's roll on to Brewers Tigers.
All right, I'll join as on the squad ride. All you have to say is squad ride.
Hey, you saw what happened with our squad ride on the Lakers.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a no sweat from tip to finish.
Easy stuff there. Shout out to you, and a rare shout out to the Lakers from me. By the way, plus 120 is what I'm getting on the minus 1.5. So shout out to you, Mr. Matty Ice. I don't bet many of these, but I will squad ride with the boys. Now we've got Braves Nationals on the deck here. We have Didier Fuentes versus Zach Littell. 5 cents of movement at Bet Online back towards the Nationals. And actually, that 5 cents seems to be now just 2 cents of movement here. Minus 148 now. Opened up at minus 150. Heritage, same thing. Minus 150 to minus 148 for the Atlanta Braves here. We have 85% of the bets and 82% of the money on the Braves, which is entirely too little in my opinion. For that line movement, 90% of the bets, 84% of the money on the over in this game. Just for shits and giggles here, I'm going to look at what FanDuel opened this up at. FanDuel allegedly opened this up at minus 138 and got up to minus 154, which is interesting. Same thing with, not as close, but DraftKings opened this up minus 143. It's now at minus 149 now. So interesting, some conflicting line movement, but either way, it'll be a stay off for me.
Shit, I'm going to have to bet this again. I was not aware that it wasn't going to be Martin Perez. What did you say the over is?
Like total, like bet percentages wise, or what the number?
No, just the number.
Numbers at 9, juice to the under here. Opened up at minus 110 each way, then 5 cents towards the under, minus 115.
Okay. I'm gonna have to rebet this. Spoon's on the over 9 minus 105. I was on the over 9 minus 105, but I sent it in. So if you guys are looking ever at my action, if it's a Bet 365 spot, it's being sent into the local, and that's non-action. So I got to rebet this, and I will do that as soon as possible. I was on the over 9 at minus 105. Sounds like it's still there. And look, if I'm late to the party and early to the funeral, so be it. But I'm tired of watching all my friends cash these overs. And shout out to Spooner and shout out to Stimmy OG. Stimmy OG betting it every day. I believe he's now 22-6 in the last, but that's impossible. They haven't played 30 games yet, but whatever. So Have to rebet it. I'm going to be on the over. I'm happy that's not Martin Perez. Martin Perez, I think, is a good pitcher, and he can get soft contact, and he's more than capable of handling his business here. So I now Didier Fuentes is capable. He's got a very high ceiling, much higher than Martin Perez, and he could be a great pitcher this year. These, aren't bad conditions for him. -4% runs, -12% homers, +3% doubles and triples, and +2% singles. The issue here, of course, is that. Oh, and Stephen Harrison been betting that over to respect, man. I watched a ton of you guys do it, and I want in. And the issue is the bullpen. The Nats bullpen, 5.57 ERA, 1.51 WHIP. And Chappie Funk says, fellas, I'm still alive. My soul crushed, though. I mean, I think everything should be fine.
Yeah, he'll be back before Game 5, I think. I think he'll sit out the next two. Spurs win the next two, and we'll see what happens.
Do you think Spurs are going to win both games in Portland without
Wemby? I do, yes. I do.
Wow. It looked like he'd never fallen before. I don't know how you hit your face twice.
Well, he's gangly. He falls all the time. Gangly.
You hit your face once.
Well, you see, the craziest part is you got knocked out by the floor. Wemby's got a glass jaw. I can't play in the NHL.
Just the second hit. Oh, whatever. The second one was, come on. Like, it looked like it was like just for laughs gags.
He can't raise his arms that fast enough to catch, It's just a lot of arm.
Oh, man.
Well, we have money invested in him.
Yes, we do. Okay, I have to rebet this over, and I will do that as soon as I can. So let's roll on.
Yeah, let's talk about the game of the night that pissed me off the most and cost me the most money by far. Red Sox, Yankees. And Jimmy, I've been saying it, and I'm going to bet it. This is going to be the best under team in baseball. The Red Sox offense is horrible. It is awful, terrible. Now, I say that. I'm not going to bet it after they get shut out, embarrassed, their pants pulled down, their manhood exposed for the world to see how bad they are. But there's nothing is going to change about this Red Sox team. There's no help coming. Last year, they had help coming in the form of Roman Anthony for the offense. This team is bankrupt offensively. Luis Heel was down over 2 miles an hour on all of his stuff, had 5 swing and misses on the whole day, and threw 6 shutout innings. This guy, they're terrible.
I've never heard that stat line in my life.
They are horrible. Horrible. If you look at they don't swing at fastballs down the middle. It's bad. This team sucks. They're going to be a last place team. And You know what I realized, Jimmy? Growing up, like, you have Santa Claus, you have the allure of certain things, huh? Well, growing up is finding out that the people that run your favorite teams are just as fucking stupid as you are. Because they just because they get hired to these positions doesn't mean they know anything. Chris Breslow doesn't know a fucking head from his ass. He's awful. Red Sox are going to get fucking dominated again because Max Fried, even though he's been pitching like garbage, is facing a horrible Red Sox lineup. Ranger Suarez, I expect to be fine. The Yankees lineup isn't very good. So sure would I bet an under again in this situation? Of course. I just don't want to bet it when a team gets shut out, embarrassed in front of their home fans, booed. Red Sox against lefties in the last 14-ish days, 62 weighted runs created plus, 140 plate appearances. Now, the Yankees have picked it up a little bit, and they're at 107 against lefties here. Full month, they're still 101, so average. But, I mean, God, this team sucks.
Well, I hope you feel better, because sometimes you need to talk things out, talk your anger out, and we're here for you as you watch your team fall apart. Look, I've had the same deal with the Canucks. The management's trash, the owner is an ass clown, and it sucks. So I know your pain. Now, you've had much more success than the sad-ass Canucks. But I don't know what's quite going on with Maximus Fried here. Robert Franklin says Red Sox money line. Fried not looking right. Started to see the same thing when he was in Atlanta. And I didn't move on these bets because I there was some hesitancy. I wanted the Red Sox first 5, and I wanted the first 3 under 2.5. So I'm very curious. Want to take another look at just see the situation here. This opened up at plus 125. The first move was Red Sox was down to plus 118. We're back at plus 123. So we've still had a very, very slight move towards the Red Sox, which I do find appealing. I want to cut the game down as short as possible because I do fear the Yankees bats quite a bit more than the Red Sox bats. The 7.5 as minus 120 to the over. As we talked about last night, it got to minus 130 to the over. So it's come back slightly. And then the cash flow is important to me here. We have 61% of the tickets on the Yankees, 63% of cash on the Red Sox, 87 and 87 on the under. If 87 and 87 are on the under, I'm not certain why. I'm just not certain why this has gone up 10 cents and why it went up 20 cents initially. So let's just take a look at the price difference between the Red Sox full game and first 5 here. And we have, and I think it is telling. I mean, Suarez's last 2 starts have been spectacular after a tough start to the year. We have Red Sox at plus 117 here at Penny, and then first half it's plus 111. So and Chris Warren says Fried is pitching good enough to slow down an already bad hitting Red Sox team. I think that's valid. I think that's fair. So I would like to make those 2 bets: Red Sox first 5 and first 3 under 2.5. I would imagine that you think that first 3 under 2.5 is a much better bet than the Red Sox first 5.
Yes. They just can't score. If they score 3 runs, the game's over. It's disgusting. A 3-run lead is insurmountable now. It's just, you can't get off the mat. And the vibes are terrible in Boston because anytime they go down, people start murmuring and go, oh, here we go again. And then that leaks down to the roster, and then the anxiety builds.
You know, everything that you've said here and that you're feeling is valid. I'm going to spend more time on this one, but those were the 2. I didn't have enough confidence to move on it last night after the show. Shout out to Slow Jams Arsenal. Yes, our new start time. You can catch me 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, 10 and 10. Slow Jams, my man. And AM's only bet is the under 8. Says chalk is hell, but we will see what happens. I see 2 pitchers with good splits, ground ball profiles to limit the wind blowing out. Speaking of the wind blowing out, let's touch on the ballpark.
God himself couldn't have enough wind to help this Red Sox offense.
Minus 4% runs, minus 21% homers, plus 4% doubles and triples, plus 8% singles. I'm interested. I think I get there at least on the first 3 under 2.5. Whether or not I want to pull the trigger on the Red Sox first 5 is questionable. Jose, let's roll on.
Speaking of fucking terrible teams, let's talk about the other bad team right now, the New York Metropolitans. 12 straight losses. I feel bad for them, but it's early in the season. They can still get their bullshit together. They're minus 150.
You can't get your bullshit together after 12 straight losses. It gets the season goodbye.
It's still early. They have a really hard division. That's the issue. But nonetheless, here they've got Clay Holmes, who I have. You know, I think he's a decent starting pitcher. Versus Jimmy, you're gonna have to help me out with the pronunciation here. Prilip.
It's Connor Prelip. I don't think there's too much to it. Let's see.
Prelip?
Yeah, it's just a lot of P's in there. Just very easy. Connor Prelip.
Too many P's.
Yes, but it's just Connor Prelip.
Well, he's pitching here today for the Minnesota Twins here. By the way, shout out to the Minnesota Twins here. Another Red Sox point to go back here. The Red Sox are the worst challenge team in baseball. They have 20 challenges. The Twins are the leaders. They have 70. They doubled their challenges. A bunch of idiots on the Red Sox here. Shout out to the Twins for actually being prepared to coming into this season, it seems like, with a new manager, feeling good about themselves.
Juan Soto is expected to be back, Jose. Did that change anything?
No, it does nothing for me. 60% of the bets on the Minnesota Twins. Thank God, by the way. Another reason I'm a little annoyed right now is the person upstairs from me has been making some fucking noise, moving their fucking deck chairs like it's the fucking Titanic up there, apparently. 60% of the bets on the Twins, 15 to 8% of the money on the Mets here. This line has not moved a cent. I'll refresh here again just in case here. But thank God the fucking Titanic is done up there. God, 55 is still the bet.
Well, look, Raccoon's back. Racer.
Might as well be.
Is the peacock? Is it the peacock?
I wish it was.
Now, Tayon is saying, imagine putting your hard-earned money on the Mets. And Duke Stallone is on the Mets. Robert Franklin says Mets are done. Acacia's on the Mets. Chris Warren says Twins money line or pass. Jake Burns had Mets first 5 last night. I don't think he got lucky. I think that was the right bet. I mean, I cashed the first 5 -1/2, but I did lose the -1. What do we make of Connor Prelip? He's been on this taxi squad all year, and now that Mick Abel's hurt, he comes in. And he's had 2 Tommy John surgeries. He's only thrown 82 2/3
Jesus.
ever in a season. That's the most he's ever thrown in a season. At St. Paul this year, he's looked quite good. 2.30 ERA, 22 strikeouts, 8 walks, 15 2/3. His high pitch count is 77, which means this trash Twins bullpen is going to be in early.
So you're telling me this guy's arm is made of paper mache, he's never thrown deep into a game, and he can't throw over 80 pitches in the game. This guy sounds like a great time. I want him on my team. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's not great.
What does he do good?
He gets Gatorade for the players.
He pitches 3 really solid innings. That's it, apparently.
So with all of this said, I think that Soto coming back. Look, I don't even want to say it out loud. I think Soto coming back. I think Clay Holmes can pitch well. I think they can win this baseball game.
Yeah,
but I would be asked and if Sean Higgs was in the chat, he'd be screaming, "No, Jimmy, no!" So, look, I think that Soto helps enormously for this lineup. I think that Holmes can pitch well. This is moving towards the under. We know that Matty Ice has moved. I know that he's moved his unit size up a lot for these situations. And he's fading every single pitcher making his MLB debut. And I imagine, I don't know what he's going to do here, honestly. But it feels like this is the same situation where we back the New York Mets. Now, I don't need to double down on the Mets, but if we're fading every pitcher having their first ever start, we should do that. Circa's just leaving this at -156. I mean, I guess they've been cleaning up off Mets backers. So Jake says, let's go 5 again. There's our guy, Old E in the house. Kong says it's like trying to catch a falling chainsaw now. So, Chris Warren cashing his wood. Homer Bet, love to see it, Chris. So with it all said and done, look, it's a sick thing to say out loud, and I want to back the Mets here again. And
admittedly, I'm right there with you, but I don't know if I will either.
So I don't want to talk about it too much. Obviously, it's it didn't hurt me too bad. I lost some vig yesterday, but I want to go back to the well. So I want the Mets first 5, and I want the full game -1. I gotta live with that shit. So I haven't betted, obviously. Let's roll on.
Let's roll on here and shout out to Oldie. He's creating today. Pouring that Crete.
Our guy, wasn't he fun at Pubapalooza? Wasn't he exactly what you thought he was going to be? Just money in the bank.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the perfect fit for the squad, man. He's just fun, man. But keep going.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing him next year as well. Shout out to you, Oldie.
Well, no, I mean, he was someone we got to figure out. We got to meet more than once a year now. But keep going.
Kyle Backus is starting for your Philadelphia Phillies.
Just the opener for Taijuan Walker, though.
Yes. He's thrown 1 2/3, 1 inning, 1 1/3. Really has pitched well after 1 bad performance to start the season. Has given up 1 run after that. So pretty impressive there. Taijuan Walker, not a man that I or anyone really believes in anymore, if we're being honest. Maybe his family, but I still have my doubts about that, if we're being honest. 7 earned runs in his last performance against the Atlanta Braves. 2 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 6 runs, 6 of them earned there in that first start. So he has not been good, Jimmy. And I said and I was pissed yesterday because TJ was right. I said coming into this season, this Phillies team was not going to be good. I wasn't going to believe in them. and I think they should have been faded. And I don't think I really have this year, and I even bet them yesterday. I don't know. I bet them because of the market, I'm sure. And by the way, shout out to Deacon Mike, which that over 2.5 home runs prop cash. So shout out to you. I did make some money on that. So I appreciate that. But I mean, I just don't believe in Mr. Taijuan Walker here. Even if Kyle Backus can go in there, throw one inning of decent work here. Market in this game, we've got 57% of the bets on Matthew Boyd and the Cubs here, but 78% of the money is on the Philadelphia Phillies here. Line has, I'm going to refresh one more time. I'm seeing minus 169. I'm seeing minus 165 now at Bet Online here for the opener, or excuse me, for the where it is now. The opener is minus 169 there. Heritage has minus 170. It stayed at minus 170 as the opener there.
So I understand the situation here, and I think the question mark isn't really Taijuan Walker, honestly. I think Backus will be good. Did we miss the Tigers game?
Did we? I might have.
Okay. Did I feel like we went from the Mariners game and skipped the Brewers Tigers game? Let me know if that was in fact the case.
Well, we'll put it on the sketch.
So here with the Phillies Cubs, Taijuan Walker looked terrible in that 9-0 loss at home to the Braves last out, and he's looked bad. And there's no reason why the Cubs won't get to him. The funny thing is this total's gone from 8.5 to 8, and we have Matthew Boyd coming off the IL. I mean, he was there for bicep injury, and what's he going to give you right off the hop here? He had not looked good in his first. He actually was. His first start was bad. His second start was getting better. The Phillies can't hit lefties. One would assume here that we should back. One should assume here that we should back the Cubs, but I have some real hesitancy just with the market. Maybe I should just let that go. But we know the Phillies can't hit lefties. Why is 78% of the cash on the Phillies? I'm fine, moving past it. This line's not moving, so I guess we could say who cares, but something's up here. Something's not right here. So, but Irish King on Chicago money line team total over. Chris Warren on the over. Philly Eagle Flyer on the Cubs and over. Leroy Flood on the Cubs money line. Justin McKelvey on the over 8.5. I'm shocked that it's moved down to 8. I think all of this makes sense. I just feel like something just doesn't add up. And maybe it's the fact that there's concern about, Boyd coming off the IL, and maybe we shouldn't have that concern. Wrigley Field's minus 9% runs, plus 3% homers, minus 14% doubles and triples, minus 6% singles. I think there's enough unknown in this spot for me to stay off, but should we just attack the Phillies anytime? Well, any game now, but also anytime they face a lefty? It's probably something that we should do, and I'm going to need more time with this spot. I just feel like something just doesn't add up, and the line should be moving towards the Cubs. Why are big bets coming in on the Phillies? And then what the hell is Boyd going to give you if we haven't seen him coming off? I just think there's enough unknown. I guess what I'm saying is there's enough unknown for me to stay off a big favorite in this spot, and that's what I will do. So let's roll on.
Let's roll on and get to that Tigers-Brewers game here. We have... here we go. We've got Chad Patrick officially versus Casey Mize. 54% of the bets and 81% of the money is on the Milwaukee Brewers in this game here. Very popular dog, but not much line movement in their direction. As I refresh, we have a minus 129 opener, minus 128, and is now minus 129 at BOL.
And Chris Warren, you're absolutely right. Taijuan Walker is certainly suspect, man. I could get. I've been thinking about getting towards the Tigers throughout, but I am on the under 8 at minus 115, and AM brought up good reasons why these two fly ball pitchers could have some trouble here on last night's show, and that's kept me off the first 3 under as well. When we also have I forgot to talk about the run suppressing weather in Citi Field, New York. It's minus 20% runs, minus 14% homers, minus 26% doubles and triples, minus 10% singles. It's quite run suppressing. At Comerica, it's minus 5% runs, minus 17% homers, even for doubles and triples, and plus 5% singles. And I do think the weather suppressing numbers do kind of help here. But you have Justin on the over. TJ said when it got to 7.5, he was going to be on the over. And so I'm certainly scared. Spooner saying that he wants the Tigers. To me, that's music to my ears. I want to back Casey Mize here. It's not a fade of Chad Patrick. It's just a belief in the Tigers at home bouncing back. Just bouncing back after a bad game yesterday. And I don't want to get too caught up in what happened yesterday, but I've been interested in the Tigers a lot for a while. And now we have a situation where, the public just saw the Brewers, destroy 12-4. They were up 12-1. I mean, I was on the Brewers, but, I am a Tigers fan, unfortunately. And I need to say that out loud, but the Tigers are 8-2 at home. Who cares if they're 12-12? That was their second loss of the season at home. I think they should be backed here. And great job, DC Capper. So with all that being said, I'm very interested in adding the Tigers to the card. And I think I quite possibly will do just that. They didn't use any of their important relievers. But Jose, we're tight for time. Let's roll on. I am on the under 8 minus 115. I love that Spooner is giving me the nod to move on the Tigers. Leroy Flood on the Tigers. And the Penn situation, let's grab this right now here for the Tigers. And I guess we should do it for Brewers and Tigers. But for the Brewers here, they're in great shape. No one's gone back-to-back. So, I mean, Ashby went 27 and Woodford went 42 yesterday, so they won't go. Grant Anderson went 17 and Megal went 14. And then Megal's been getting booed in his home ballpark. Then DL Hall didn't go. Carlos Rodriguez good to go. Zerpa and Uribe all good to go. And then over on the Tigers side of things here, we have a bullpen ready to attack. Only pitchers that went yesterday were Jesus and Seabold. So Herder, Holton, Anderson, Finnegan. Finnegan hasn't gone in 2 days. Vest hasn't gone in 2 days. Kenley Jansen hasn't gone in 3 days. So Rob Freeband's also liking the Tigers. Rob Franklin says Tigers bullpen looks suspect lately. I believe in this bullpen. I think this bullpen's going to be really good. They did get off to a tough start, and we can have concerns about that, but I don't think the concerns need to be too deep here at all. Tigers bullpen 3.79 ERA, 1.39 WHIP has been quite a bit better than the Brewers bullpen thus far. So let's roll on. Let's roll on, my man.
Let's roll on to Pirates Rangers. Jimmy, did you have these pitchers going last night at curiosity? Ashcraft versus Leiter?
I did.
Okay, cool. Just to make sure here, the line did a little flip at Bet Online, minus 112 to minus 112 Texas. It is now minus 110 Pittsburgh here. There were even money flips there. Bovada shows minus 111 Pittsburgh, minus 116 now. It is there now, minus 116. And now for Heritage, just to double check there, it opened up minus 111 there, is now minus 114. So not as dramatic as Bet Online's line flip there, but still line movement towards Pittsburgh with 64% of the bets, 80% of the money on Braxton Ashcraft versus Jack Leiter.
I'm fans of both these pitchers. It took me a while to become a fan of Leiter, but I love Ashcraft. The game that we saw Ashcraft in, the last game, allowed 5 runs, 2 of which weren't. The defense behind them was the Three Stooges, man. They were terrible. Absolutely. Just let him down completely. And I think he's got elite stuff. Spooner has moved on the Tigers minus 125. Green light for all of us. Acacia on the Tigers as well. And I believe that Ashcraft is a very good pitcher, and I'm hoping that Jack Leiter continues on from where he left off last year. 3.86 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, 148 Ks, and 151 2/3. The last start at the Athletics, I didn't sweep. I should have swept the game with the Rangers' first 5 in full game, but they were up 2-0 going bottom of the 5th, and he allowed 3 runs. The wind was swirling like crazy. It was just a little nibbler over the first base that brought in 2 runs that cost me the I mean, they ended up allowing 3, but it was the 2. I had them minus a half, I believe. So I'm a believer. These bullpens are strong, especially the Rangers bullpen. I've doubled down on unders. I got the first 3 under 2.5 at minus 115, and I got the full game under 8.5 at minus 115. And my first 3 unders have been struggling mightily. I'll separate the spreadsheets here probably now. I think there's enough sample size. I'm certainly starting to think that I should probably just focus solely on sides if my totals are not succeeding at this point, but I'm here. This is a first 3 under 2.5, a full game under 8.5. I got an 8.5 minus 115. That's a very, very good line. I was shocked that it was available. It was available at Bet365. Pacheco de Gallo. No, that's next, my man. And Robert Franklin and in the house says Langford got hurt last night. Leroy fled on the under with me. AM with a small lean towards the Pirates. Robert Franklin on the Pirates. AM says these teams are really close. The only way I would play it, but not good enough for me to place it. We're in business. First 3 under 2.5 minus 115. And full game under 8.5 minus 115. I was surprised at the line, honestly. Yes, the Swaggy, we've gone over the roof quite a bit over the last few days, but the roof is open on night games right now and closed in afternoon spots. I'm going to pull up and see. I got to pull up 365. I don't have it up right now, so I'm going to pull up right now and see what it is. But let's roll into our next spot.
Yep, we've got Padres Rockies here, and admittedly, a game I want to move on, but I think the market and bet percentages will keep me off. Walker Buehler versus Sugano. You know how I feel about Walker Buehler. I think he sucks, washed up, etc., etc. He's a high spin rate, curveball guy, slider guy, so I think the thin air and Coors is going to hurt him. However, everyone else thinks that as well. 53% of the bet, 76% of the money is on the Rockies here. And I was hoping they would be I'm hoping they'd be flipped maybe. I don't know. But minus 157 is now minus 150 at Bet Online, which makes me feel a little better about potentially moving on them. Maybe be a team total or something like that, just focusing against him. Minus 160 opener at Heritage is now minus 153 here. Jimmy, what do you think?
Well, we have arrived at the Stacks play. It's only moved 5 cents. I thought it would have moved further that first race. It's now minus 120. I got the minus 115. It's a little disappointing. Stacks play today is right here. It's the over 11.5 minus 118 for our guy, Justin McKelvey.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
I'm still extremely upset that I didn't move on this game yesterday. Vasquez and Dollander with the opener. It's going to eat at me, but it is what it is. I went over all of those additions because I'd left them all off except for one, which lost. If I had added them all, I would have had negative ROI. So, Robert McCormick in the house. What up, Robert? Great to see you. Look, I don't expect Walker Buehler to pitch well here. And I do not know anymore. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like I know what Sugano is going to do. I am my belief in him is becoming sort of tepid. And I want to see what he does in these starts that are, heavy offensive weather. And that's what we have here. Heavy offensive weather. Plus 32% runs, plus 13% homers, plus 29% doubles and triples, and plus 19% singles. And then the question is, what has Walker Buehler done at Coors? Has he ever had success at Coors? Has he been lit up at Coors? How far do you want to go back when we study it? And in 2025, we didn't see him at Coors. No start there. So now we're going back to 2024. We start going back too far, then all of a sudden he was a good pitcher back then, right? We don't want to go back too far. He was at Coors for 4 innings in 2024, and he allowed 7 earned runs and 2 homers. So, I don't want to keep going back. He hasn't been there in 2 years. 40 Kid in the house. What up, 40 Kid? Mo Harris. Great to see all of you guys. Ricky Bobby. So, with it all said and done, I get why this is going towards the over. I just don't. I'm off this game. I don't know what the hell's going to happen in it. Let's roll on.
Let's roll on to Diamondbacks White Sox. White Sox put an ass whooping on the Diamondbacks last night. Eddie Rodriguez versus Anthony Kay. Today here we have 74% of the bets and 89% of the money on the Diamondbacks here, 50-50 tickets and 58 on the over here. Line has not moved a cent from the opener at BetOnline. Minus 150 is still minus 150 there. Heritage, by the way, showing an opener of minus 130 or minus 154 and is now down to minus 136 at Heritage. Seems like the White Sox might be live again here. Jimmy, what do you think?
It's very concerning. TJ and I moved on Arizona last night on the -1 line. I think the fact that they're not starting Anthony Kay, that he didn't make their rotation out of spring training, the White Sox aren't sold on Anthony Kay. It feels like I'm higher on Anthony Kay than others are. He's coming off of a great start, though. 5 2/3, no earned runs. Kristen Hess, it's great to see you. Welcome. Love seeing Kristen Hess in the chat. Anthony Kay spent the last 2 years in Japan. He looked really good for Yokohama. And he's coming off. Oh, sorry. I was looking at the start. Oh, no. Yeah, sorry. I was looking at his last full start. Thursday, April 16th was the second time in his last 3 appearances that he had an opener. And he only went 2 2/3. Erod's only had that one home start. And that was against the Braves, and he was lights out. Justin McKelvey on Arizona -1.5. Look, obviously this line is not helping me, but I am here backing the Diamondbacks -1 at -107. And, things have changed this year with us getting, our action way ahead of time. But yes, this line isn't moving. I have this line opening up -150 at 1:35 p.m. and sitting here at -150. So there was an initial move towards the White Sox, and it's come back, and it's a concern. But I think Arizona comes to play today. They're a very public side, and the fact that this line's not moving towards them is uncomfortable. But I'm not buying off of it. I'm on the -1, -107. Jose, let's roll on to our final spot on the card.
Giants Dodgers, the only game last night that treated me really well. Thank you to the Giants for coming through both ends of the double up first 5 full game.
Oh, nice bet. I just have him first 5. Did you have him first 5 money line or first 5 plus a half?
Plus a half.
Okay.
Minus 115. So that was nice there. But the one plus 140, plus 180, I forget at the end was nice. So shout out to the Giants. But today is a little different. Shohei Ohtani comes to the mound here versus Tyler Mahle. -181 is now -205 at BetOnline here. At Heritage is -217, opened up at 206 there. And Bovada -199 to -218. So to keep it brief, I think that the Dodgers might open hand smack the Giants in the mouth last night for that performance. Now, Swaggy McNolegs, that's an interesting thing to talk about because he pitched last time and didn't hit. So
and they won 8-2.
So yeah, I mean, they're deep enough to do it. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again in an effort to try to keep him fresh. But I hope that is not a permanent thing, to say the least. But what do you think, Jimmy?
Robert Franklin, I have different numbers for the White Sox versus lefties. I have 228 with a 765 OPS. Very different numbers. 9 Legacy, San Francisco money line again. I'm drinking the Ohtani juice, man. They're winning. I mean, they didn't win all the starts, right? He lost that one to the Jays, but Freeman's supposed to be back, as Robert Franklin's saying. He's on the Dodgers money line. 9 Legacy, San Francisco always plays the Dodgers tough. If you bet San Francisco blindly every time they play the Dodgers, your ROI would be great. But I am on the Dodgers -1.5 at -111. I'm right with you here. Ohtani looks better on the mound than I've ever seen him in my life. A wager detective on the under, nacho cheese dip on the under. It's all angles that I believe in. We got to be really tight here. We got to move on. I can't wait for Mark Sosowski's NFL draft video. That's next before we get an NBA and NHL. Swept the board in NBA yesterday. Can't wait to attack today's card. But I am on the Dodgers run line here. Rob Free says, what is the Braves team total over price? Rob Free, my man, let me get that for you right now. Here, what the hell is it? Thought I had it up here. Oh yeah, here we go. The Braves team total over for my man Rob Free is here. The team total over is over 4.5 minus 118 to the over. That will probably be the best line you find. The others will be more juiced at that 4.5 number. So let's review all action. Jose and MLB. I'm on Milwaukee, Detroit under 8. Guardians first 5 minus 130. Guardians minus 1 at plus 109. Royals first 5 minus a half minus 103. Mariners first 5 minus a half minus 120. Don't like being on these first 5s minus a halves. You need to have full conviction to move on them. Then I'm on Mariners first 5 minus half. Mariners full game minus 1. Pittsburgh, Texas first 3 under 2.5. Pittsburgh, Texas full game under 8.5. Atlanta, Washington over 9, which I have to rebet with the pitching change. Diamondbacks minus 1 at minus 107. Dodgers minus 1.5 at minus 111. We're going to go over all the best bets from cappers in the chat. I'm not moving on those first 2 games, although I understand why anybody would be on the Marlins. I understand why anybody would be on the Rays first 5, but I'm not moving on them. And then 4 additions. I'm interested. I'm going to bet the first 3 under 2.5 in Toronto, LA Angels. And then I am going to bet the Tigers. And then I have to rebet that Atlanta, Washington over 9. I really want to study that Yankees Red Sox game longer. So first 5 Red Sox, first 3 under 2.5. Do I go back in with the Mets first 5 minus half and Mets full game minus 1? I'm not sure here. I'm not sure. And then that concludes my MLB action. What was the Nate asking? What was the squad ride bet? What was the one that you joined us with? You're muted, my man.
There we go. Seattle.
The Mariners. Mariners minus 1 or Mariners run line. I'm using the minus 1. Nasty Nate Mariners. Okay, Jose, please review your MLB action, and then I will introduce our video.
Yeah, I am going to bet. I've on 3 bets here, and I just bet 2 of them, and I'm going to bet the third one right now while we do this. So the one I'm doing right now is Blue Jays team total over 3.5, full game minus 120. Again, hopefully we can get 1 or 2 off of Soriano, and then the bullpen will blow it for them, or blow it open, I should say. Mariners minus 1.5 plus 120. And if I lose again on our first 5 minus 140, like I did yesterday with Connolly Early and the boys, I'm going to be pissed. Jansen Junk, Miami Marlins minus 140, first 5 money line. I'm a junk man. I believe in you, Jansen Junk. Come on now.
Yeah, you sound like Harlan Williams. Come on now, won't you? Hey, let's roll into NFL. We have the Pub Sports Radio debut of our guy, Mark Stasowski. Please, Jose, if you could post his X handle in the chat. Don't throw fade. We have a best bet in the NFL draft that takes place tomorrow, and this is money. Shout out to our guy, Mark Stasowski, setting the tone here with our first video, with our new style of shows at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. We want a lot more of this. So without further ado, best bet in the NFL draft from our guy, Mark Stasowski. Let's roll.
Hey, Pub Sports. I want to thank you, Jimmy, and thank you, Pub Sports, for getting me on here. I want to bring you a play for the NFL draft on April 23rd for the first round. The Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the draft will select an offensive lineman for the first pick of the draft at plus 185. It's a toss-up between wide receiver and offensive lineman. But in this case, the offensive linemen, Fano and Vega Ioane, are 2 people that the Steelers have brought in and are very interested in. They're a little higher in the draft prediction based on where they're projected to go than number 20. But the Steelers have plenty of draft capital to move up if they want to, and then they can grab a wide receiver later in the draft. There's plenty of those as well. I think the other point that really gives us the value here, plus 185, is if we look at McCarthy's history. In his 17 first-round drafts in his career, he's only drafted 1 wide receiver, and that was CeeDee Lamb in 2020. The other 16 picks were D-backs, defensive tackles, or offensive linemen, all in the trenches, basically. The Steelers at plus 185. See you at the window.
I love it. Mark Stasowski setting the tone, man. Great job. We want more of these videos. So if anybody has some best bet action, that they want to rock with us, please get in touch with Jose or myself. And shout out to Mark Stasowski. And there is Don't Throw Fade. Could you hit that link there? Don't Throw Fade that Jose just put up. Hit that link. Support our guy, Mark. Follow him on X, and you'll see more of him on this channel. There we go. Mark Stasowski in the house. All right, Jose, let's go. We got to go quick. 2 minutes a game. Let's get into NBA. And these are smash and grab spots and NHL, so we can work quickly. Let's roll.
Yep. Pistons versus the Magic here. Jimmy is tripled up on this game here. 56% of the bets and 94% of the money on the Detroit Pistons here, Jimmy. I'm going to sit back and let you cook.
Yeah, look, this is very public. We don't care. I do think that Magic money is, hopefully going to come in. This line's not moving. It is a 9 bookmaker. That was down to 8.5 as well. So, this is uncomforting, being on such a public side. But how could we not? The Magic went into Detroit. Detroit didn't play for a week. The Magic walked into Detroit and beat them from tip to buzzer. Wagner closed the game out like he was MJ. Banchero went for 23. And now the Detroit Pistons have lost 11 straight home playoff games, an NBA record. And what did we do last night? We backed the Tampa Bay Lightning, who had lost 9 of 10 home games and had lost 11 of 12 overtime games. What did the Lightning do? They won at home and they won in overtime. It's time to change the storyline in Detroit City, and I think that they take care of business. I really like Justin's plan on Jalen Duren. 8 points and 7 rebounds is not enough. The Pistons scored their fewest points in 3 months. They hadn't scored that low of a total since late January. The Pistons slap back. The Pistons have character. The Pistons are the bully. The Pistons are the captain now. Yes, it's a public play. Yes, I want the line to move, but I don't care. First quarter -2.5, -115. I got that at 365. First half -4.5, -115. I got that at 365. And -8.5, -110 at Penny. Yes, it's public. And look at that. AOD says Pistons won't lose. And he says, not on my birthday. Happy birthday, AOD, man. Happy birthday. You put so much positivity into our chat all the time. And we love it. Love capping with you, man. Absolutely love capping with you. LJ from H-Town says the Detroit 6-0 straight up off a home loss when next game's at home and 5-1 against the spread. And Ski saying that game 1 was so uncharacteristic, and we get that. And remember Ski's first note, it was perfectly put, and I should have copied and pasted. I meant to, but I was just moving too quick. But it was just, don't believe what you see from one game to the next. Situations change. It's just like horse racing. Ski's also a great thoroughbred capper, and he understands that it's best to bet against what you see. And look, we saw Maxey and Edgecombe go off. The Sixers at plus 14.5 was great. Like I wasn't saying they were going to win outright. But then the Blazers is a different situation because we had the Wemby injury or whatever. But and then we're just keeping things simple. In NBA, we back teams that lose by 30 points. That cashes. We fade teams with their superstar returning. That cashes. But here, Detroit shows the character that made them the number 1 seed in the East, that made their fans fall in love with them. So it's first quarter, first half, full game for the Detroit Pistons. And I can't wait to watch this game. I cannot wait to watch this basketball game. Simple for me, not complicating things. Let's roll on to Suns Thunder.
Suns Thunder, our last basketball game here tonight. 71%. I'm right. 71% of the bets and 88% of the money on Oklahoma City here. Line has moved from an 18.5 to a 17 now.
Yeah, and I look at this point. Which of those 3 guys for the Suns is not going to play? Williams is still in the boot. So he's, we don't think he's going to play. Then we have Grayson Allen. I don't know if he's been cleared to play for the last 2 games and hasn't seen the floor. Maybe they're waiting for him to be at home. And now Goodwin's hurt. So if this moves to 16.5 or 16, I'll feel good about it. I did not want to bet the Sixers yesterday. I just felt that you had to take advantage of the fact that they're coming off a 30-point loss, 30 plus. And then the Suns are the same way. They're coming off a 35-point loss. I mean, I expect them to play better. And if Goodwin, Williams, and Allen are all out, then this line will move to 18.5 or more. Razor says unders are 12-2 in the NBA playoffs. Why would anyone take an over? Just ride the wave and take the free money throughout the playoffs. If we should have, this is the second year in a row, and I'm tracking it, but second year in a row that the game twos have worked very well in Operation Garcia. In my head, I think that the books are going to get tighter when they understand the rotation's clear. But it is what it is. And Cashman says Williams in props wasn't in game 1. Rob Free says I'm seeing heavy sharp action on the Suns money line. That's wild. I'm not sure if I
wouldn't call it heavy sharp action because those heavy sharps are other people are not going to be betting minus 2,100. So you're naturally going to get more bets and money on the other side.
You can't even use you can't. What can you do with a minus 2,000? I mean, nothing. The money lines move from plus 1,200 to plus 1,100. I would need to dive in deeper than what I have in front of me to find that out. But look, Jalen Williams comes back. We only saw him for 33 games in the regular season after the big contract. He's healthy, 22, 7, and 6. He looks very good. We just watched, Brooks go 6 of 22 from the field. Shea go 5 of 18 from the field. You can expect both players to step up. Booker looks old and slow, and in 28, 29, when he's getting paid $75 million a year, Suns fans won't want to show up at the arena. But right now, he has to step up. He has to keep them in the game. They have to shoot at a much higher level than they did against the Thunder. But I don't see how the Thunder don't walk in here relaxed and calm and composed and not thinking that they're going to get a game. And so, again, I just have to trust the ROI in certain situations. And the ROI here, it tells us that you back teams that come off of 30-point losses. And that's what I'm doing here. So I'm not doing it yet. I expect at least 1, possibly 2, could be 3 of those guys out. And, you want them to be healthy at home in game 3. So I think the line will probably move back to the Thunder. Colin Gregory on Thunder team total over. I will be on the Suns, but I want to wait for the injury news. Want to wait for Oklahoma City to be bet more. And I expect that to happen shortly. For Oklahoma City and then the cash flow right now, we have 71% of the tickets and 88% of the cash on Oklahoma. It's funny when Jose was talking about 57% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on Detroit. You obviously want the line to move, but the 57% of the tickets is important. It feels like just some monster bets have come in on Detroit, and it's skewing that here. So with all said and done, I'm going to be on the Suns. I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to be patient and move when the opportunity arises. Cashman says it's all about adjustments. Losing team makes the adjustments. Game 1 winner thinks they can do the same things. Game 2 different in all series except Houston Lakers. There's Deacon Mike in the house. Deacon got a big shout out from Jose Bouquet. He rolled with you on that home run prop and got that bag. Jose, let's move on to NHL. Let's move quickly.
Minnesota Wild versus the Dallas Stars here. Admittedly, as a non-hockey ball knower, I was a little surprised to see this line. I thought it was going to be tighter, if not Minnesota, maybe even like minus 110, minus 120. I don't know. 61% of the bets, 73% of the money on Minnesota, which is probably why this line is listed like this here, is my assumption here. As for the money line movements here, let's switch from point spreads to money line here. We have a minus 127 for Minnesota is now minus 122 at BetOnline. At Heritage, it opened up at minus 122. It's now minus 124 there. Admittedly, the market seems like it's saying Dallas Stars here, but what do you think?
And can you set up the Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game after this one? Because that's the early game. That's at 7 p.m.
Yes, I must have missed that one. Apologies.
No worries. So here, Minnesota's a better hockey team, I believe, than Dallas. But they haven't proved it in the playoffs, and I think you can tell by the lines. I mean, Minnesota's plus 100 in game 1 in Dallas. You can tell by these lines that they think that these road teams are, very live. LJ from H-Town put out his play of the day on X, and I'd love to see it because, as you guys know, after last night's show, I moved on the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 6. I got the first period under 1.5 plus 105. I got the full game under 6. I don't believe it was that expensive here. I got the full game under 6 at minus 110. Beautiful. So I believe that this will be such a tight checking game. And yes, there's a ton of offense on the ice, but nobody will get an inch. The only way, and I think obviously you can lose these spots, is if the Dallas can't contain Minnesota for that first 5 minutes. When you play a team in their first home playoff game of the season, the crowd's going bananas, bonkers. Like, wait till you see, as Steve Fehrenbach talking about Utah on Friday night, they're going to be going, they're insane. You got to be able to handle that first punch, that first 5 to 7 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, to get them to calm down. And AM says back the road team in playoff games led to better success. This is well known for the NHL playoffs. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. For me, and Swaggy McNolegs on overtime, I think that makes a ton of sense. And we're going to move on to the Flyers Pittsburgh next. But here I'm on the first period under 1.5, the full game under 6. I don't think there's going to be any room on the ice. And I think especially early, the Dallas Stars are going to have 5 players back. I think they're going to ensure. Now, you can't have 5 players back with Quinn Hughes on the ice. Quinn Hughes needs to be shadowed. He's that spectacular. Now you could say Kaprizov does too, and that's legit. He does too. The Wild are a dangerous, dangerous hockey team. And I expect them to knock out Dallas when it's all said and done. But I also expect it to go over 6 games. That's a big, big bet for me. And I have it at 6 games. So 6 is a push, 7 is a casher. So I needed the Stars to win game 2. I'm on the first period under and the full game under. Jose, let's roll on, and let's head to Pennsylvania for a giant rivalry game.
Yes, fun rivalry game. These games have been very fun to watch, but Philadelphia Flyers lead the Pittsburgh Penguins, lead 2-0 so far. The line has moved in their direction, minus 109 at BetOnline. It got up to minus 118. It is now minus 116 there. It is minus 113 at Heritage, opened up at minus 109 there as well. And Bovada, minus 115 opener, got up to minus 120. It is now minus 117. There's 78% of the bets and 94% of the money on Pittsburgh here, expecting that Pittsburgh gets up off the mat here.
Yeah, and that will change. The Flyers cash will come in. The line's starting to slightly move back towards Pittsburgh. I'm astonished that much money is bet on Pittsburgh. Look, Porter Martone has changed things. He's changed things. Dan Vladar is standing on his head. The Penguins, who had a power play that was ranked 7th in the National Hockey League over the regular season at 24.1%, is now 0 for 7 in the playoffs, 0 for 2 game 1, 0 for 5 game 2. All these things, I think, will progress or regress depending on what you're looking at. The Penguins had 17 shots in game 1. It wasn't enough. They put up 27 in game 2, but they were out hit 48-32 by the Flyers. I expect the Penguins' very best hockey game. Great job getting a plus 106 here, Justin. I'm going to be on the Penguins in game 3. I'm going to be on the Penguins in game 4. And then I'm not sure if I'll back them game 5. If they win both, if they split here, I'll be on them game 5. If they wins games 3 and games 4, I'm going to need to think about it. It does probably make sense. But I think Pittsburgh fights back and punches back. It feels good to be the enemy. It feels good in these very intense playoff matchups to be the enemy. And that's who they are going to be. They're going to be in enemy territory. They're going to have their it's something that I expect Crosby and the boys to thrive within. They have a lot of young players that are playing big minutes, and Ben Kindle. They have a lot of vets that haven't stepped up in the playoffs, and I expect them to do that here. So Philly Eagle Flyer on Martone point and over shots ladder. Shout out to Porter Martone, Michigan State kid. Guy's just a monster, doing all the things that we thought Matvei Michkov would do. So shout out to Porter Martone. All that. Shout out to Dan Vladar. But the special teams on Philadelphia, I think, will hurt them at some point. But if Vladar stands on his head, it's over. And Razor says, everyone will be betting the Penguins today. No way they go down 3-0 and you can get them at plus 100. Yeah, I do think the line will change. And the Flyers are certainly live to win this. And if the Flyers win this, it's all well and good. I'll be on the Penguins in game 4. And then the same story will be there. I'm sure the public will be saying that the Penguins won't get swept, and they're more than capable of being swept. Robert Franklin says Martone 8 straight games to the point. Nuclear says Pens need to quiet the crowd early. All road teams do in that first play. I mean, that Philly arena is just going to be going bananas. So I can understand both sides of the fence here. But so often in NHL series, we've seen teams lose the first 2 games at home and win the next 2 games on the road. I mean, we've seen it so often. It's not a rare thing at all. So, I understand I'm on some public sides here, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. Jose, let's roll on to our final spot on the board.
All right, our last spot here, the Anaheim Ducks versus the Edmonton Oilers. No market information on this game, but Jimmy, I will admit, I don't have futures on the Oilers for the first time in 2 years, and the fact that Connor McDavid didn't score a point and they won a game has me worried, but we'll see what happens. Minus 185 is now minus 179 here for Edmonton at BetOnline.
I think the very best bet on the NHL board is the under 7. I love it. I got the under 7 at minus 124. I think it's the very best bet on the board. AM saying it's a Ducks spot. Personally, I think that was their chance, was game 1. This line's moving in my direction. I'm looking at 7 at minus 133, 7 that's another minus 131. I love the under 7. I absolutely love it. And AM says he doesn't know if he can back the Ducks. I think that the Ducks were lucky to get back in game 2. That was a clear icing that was not called, and they got a lucky bounce, and the Oilers thought that. And Razor Sharp picks on the under 1.5 plus 140. I thought about that, Razor. I just didn't really have the balls to double down. In fact, that could easily be a better bet than mine because you're getting a much better risk reward. I love I think it's a very sharp look, Razor. I really like it. I'm not going to double down because I'm on the Oilers minus 1. And look, Connor Ingram needs to step up. I think he's capable of doing that. But getting Kapanen to score a couple goals, Dickinson to score a couple goals, this team believes in themselves. If the Ducks take a lead, you bet the Oilers as fast as you can. Don't think about it. Because if you it didn't work with the Knights last night. We didn't think about it. The Knights scored immediately, tied up at 2. We got confident, but we cashed the Lightning at plus 190. So I just think if you like these hockey teams and they go down a goal, consider it a nice opportunity to add more to your action. Irish King saying Nurse was horrible in game 1. The true and try Oilers fans despise Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, shit. Sorry, I'm saying. God,
Raptors on the mind.
Yeah, no, well, he's a Sixer head coach now, but the Nurse family, Darnell and Kia is star of our basketball team. And Nuclear says McDavid not going pointless tonight. Oilers puck line plus 130. The opportunity was there for the Ducks. Now it's going to go away. And we'll see what the Ducks can do in game 3 in Anaheim. It's the way I see it. So I love this game. I can't wait for this game because of the live opportunity. So we're going to get possibly betting it. So for me, it's the under 7 at minus 124. It's the Oilers minus 1 at minus 121. I'm on the Penguins at plus 100 and Dallas first period under 1.5 and the full game under 6 here. So I'm pumped up. And there is a difference between the Oilers rolling over and running over the Kings for 4 years in a row than the Ducks. The Ducks they're not scared, first of all. They have a nice mix of veteran and young elite talent. Beckett Seneca's a tough kid. Leo Carlson's a big enough kid. I think he's 6'2". And, so the Ducks are not going to be an easy out. Not as easy as the Kings have been. But I think that the Oilers take care of business. That is our show for today. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Shout out to Mark Stasowski doing a great job with our first send-in video of our new show, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. Micro Gaming in the house, Nuke Worker, Steve Fahrenbach, AM 420. Well, I want to say 420. All I see is 420. It's so funny. You see what you want to see. It's 41120. I just see 420. Philly Eagle Fire Miss smokes a lot. Thank you for joining us. Irish King, Robert Franklin, all you guys. Thank you. Razor Sharp Pick. Stay hot, Razor. Love seeing you cash and cash and cash. Thank you guys. so much for running with us. Colin Gregory, Chappie Funk, LJ from H-Town. The play of the day is the under 5.5. Go, Jose, if you could drop LJ's X handle in the chat. Retweet our guy LJ. He puts out great videos each and every day with his plays of the day. I reposted it and commented in it. Please do so. Help support our guy LJ, who supports us. Deacon Mike, my dude, M the Great, Rob Free, Cashman, Old E Spooner. Happy birthday to AYOD. Happy birthday, AYOD. And you know what the best bet is, AYOD. Detroit City, man. They're going to take care of business on your birthday. I want to say it's the under 7 in Anaheim, Edmonton, but your mailman bets, thank you so much. Jose, great job, my man. I will see you shortly. Let's go out there and get that cash. We lay the foundation on the night show. We then make more moves. Then we have the market to work with on the morning show. And let's take advantage of this opportunity for us all to cap together. We work together to beat the books. We form like Voltron and slaughters the head. AOD, happy birthday, Chris Ness. Much love. Jose, can you please bless our action with some lecheria?
Yep. Good luck, everyone. Big day for all of us here. Let's go get that money. And good luck, everyone. Don't forget 5 p.m. Eastern today. Peter Loshak as well. Troy and Pete keep dominating those Thursday or those everyday closing line shows as well. So tune into those. And until then, let's go Leche, Los bookmakers.
It's easier to sleep in the black. When you're losing your ass and feeling so, you know what to do. Tune in to Pop Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's a roller coaster ride, you're gonna catch a bad beat. No problem, keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter, these shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Dabby and the fam, Dutch Wine Time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.